What trickery is this? Mal'Ganis! I don't know how you survived, but I
Calm
will...
yourself, Prince Arthas. I am Tichondrius. Like Mal'Ganis, I am a Dreadlord. But I am not your enemy. In truth, I've come to congratulate you.
Congratulate me?
By killing your own father and delivering this land to the Scourge, you have passed your first test. The Lich King is pleased with your enthusiasm.
Yes. I've damned everyone and everything I've ever loved in his name. And I still feel no remorse, no shame, no pity.
The rune blade that you carry was forged by the Lich King and empowered to steal souls. Yours was the first one it claimed.
Then I'll make do without one. What is the Lich King's will?
The cult of the damned must be rallied once again. Many of the acolytes have been in hiding amongst the populace. Once you've rallied them, I will give you further instructions.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Ah, at last. What is it now? Finally.
Greetings, great lord. Our master, Kel'Thuzad, told us that you would come.
Kel'Thuzad? How could he have known it?
Be wary. If the townsfolk see your undead minions, they'll call the local guards to stop you.
Finally. This is more like it. Ah, at last. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Speak.
Prince Arthas, arm yourselves!
What is it now? I'll make sure you suffer. Speak, fool. This is more like it.
My life.
The undead!
Finally.
Sound the alarm!
Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. Tread lightly. What is it now? This is more like it. Finally.
Help! The undead have returned!
Ah, at last. Finally.
The undead! Sound the alarm!
Faithless coward. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. This is
The
more
dead
like
have risen again!
Seek out
Guards!
the local graveyards. Those buried there will serve you well. Your eyes.
No one orders me around.
I go unseen.
Tread lightly.
My sight is yours.
No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Ah, at last.
Mercy, my
You will
lord.
know endless torment. This is more like it. I'll make sure you suffer. Finally. Faithless coward. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. What is it now? Frostmourne
bow
hungers.
to your will.
This is more like it. Ah, at last. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. This is more like it. Tread lightly. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. You will know endless torment. What is it now? Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Now, Frostmourne, you will know endless torment. For the Lich King. Finally. This is more like it. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
How could you murder your own father?
Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. At last. This is more like it. You will know endless torment. Frostborn hungers. Finally. At last. Tread lightly. No one orders me around. Speak,
I
fool.
live only to
What is it
serve.
now?
The undead! Sound the alarm!
No one orders me around. What is it? Finally.
I bow to your
At
will.
last. This is more like it.
I bow to
Frostmourne
your
hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. No one orders me around. What is it now? At last. Tread lightly. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. What is it now? Speak, fool. What is it now? Tread lightly. This is more like it. Now, at last. Finally. At last. Finally. Frostmourne
Help!
hungers.
live
The undead have
At
returned!
last. Speak, fool. Tread lightly.
Help!
I'll
The
make
undead
sure
have returned!
For the Lich King. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
I bow to
This
your
is more
will.
like it. Finally.
Mercy, my lord!
This is more like it. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Bastard.
Stand ready. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it.
The damned
At
stand
last.
ready.
Frostmourne hungers. At
I'm
last.
in luck. These graves were dug recently. Arise in the name of the Lich King.
No one orders me around. Finally. At last. This is more like it. What is it now? Tread lightly. Speak, fool. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. I'll be sure you suffer. This is more like it. What is it now? Finally. Speak, fool. Under attack. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly.
The damned stand
Speak,
ready.
fool. What is it now? Now, Frostmourne. Tread lightly. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Mercy, my lord!
Finally.
I live
This is more
only
like
to
it.
serve.
Frostmourne hungers. No one.
Burn in hell!
What is it? Your pain shall be
Help!
legendary.
The undead have returned!
Finally. This is more like it. At last. Tread lightly. This is more like
I live only to
at
serve.
last. No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Help!
Finally.
The undead have returned!
At last.
Ah!
Now, Frostmourne. Frostmourne hungers.
I live
at last.
only
Kill
to
them all!
serve, great lord.
Speak, fool. Tread lightly. No one orders me around. Finally. Frostmourne
The damned
hungers.
I live
This is
only
more
to
like
serve.
it. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
I live
Finally.
only to serve.
This is more like it.
You've betrayed us all. The undead.
More
Sound the
hungers.
alarm.
Finally. At last. Finally. At last. Finally.
The dead have risen
Frostmourne
again.
hungers.
Guards.
This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally.
Our forces
at
are under
last.
attack.
What is it now? Finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers.
The damned
This is
stand
more
ready.
like it. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
I live
at last.
only to serve.
This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
The damned stand ready.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
My life
Finally.
for Ner'zhul.
At last. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. Speak, fool. Finally.
Well done, Death Knight. The cult is nearly assembled.
Lordaeron lies in ashes. What good are these cultists to us now?
They will aid you in your next undertaking.
And what's that?
You will go to Underhall and recover the remains of the Acolyte's former master, the necromancer, Kel'Thuzad.